The year is 2284. The human race has perfected hyperspace travel along with anti-gravity technology and have begun colonizing the galaxy. Legions of robots have been developed to aid humans in their galactic exploration, and entire planets have been devoted to the production of these robots. In the Orion sector, an advanced race of aliens has reprogrammed the entire robot population and turned them on their creators with the goal of wiping out all of humanity. Only the best of the best should be sent to take out these evil aliens, and you have been chosen. You are the Low G Man. Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man, is an action platformer developed by Kid in 1990. Kid also developed Isolated Warrior, a game featured previously in the NES Abridged series. Low G Man was published by Taxan, and they too have a game featured previously in this series, 8 Eyes. In Low G Man, you can use the A button to jump and the B button to fire your equipped weapon. Your default weapon is a kind of freeze gun, the Electromagnetic Disruptor Pistol, or EMDP for short. The EMDP can freeze your enemies for a short amount of time. Pressing up or down on the D-pad while pressing B will cause Low G-Man to attack in the appropriate direction with an armor-piercing spear. A common strategy for taking down the enemies you encounter is to first freeze them with your EMDP and then finish them off with your spear, which I think is a really cool and interesting mechanic, but this tactic has a big downside. Using this strategy will deny Low G-Man vital power-ups. The power-ups will only drop 10% of the time if you defeat a frozen enemy, but they drop 100% of the time otherwise. The power-ups you can obtain include anti-gravity material, which allows you to jump higher, red spear power, which increases the length of your spear, and blue EMDP power, which increases your primary weapon's level. At maximum level 3, your EMDP will fire 3 projectiles instead of 1. You can also collect blue medicine, which heals you for a bit, and red medicine, which is like poison and damages you. Some enemies in Low G-Man have special weapons, and you'll learn to recognize these weapons by their different projectiles like fireballs and grenades. If you defeat one of these enemies, they'll drop their weapon for you to collect, even if they're frozen. These weapons can be selected by pressing start, and they can all be leveled up as well, causing them to fire more projectiles up to a maximum level of 3. They include the fireball weapon, the boomerang weapon, the bomb weapon, and the powerful wave weapon. There are also vehicles that Low G-Man can drive temporarily. To obtain one of these vehicles, you first have to freeze it, then jump on top of it and take it out utilizing your spear. You can obtain the Walker vehicle, which is a 2-legged mech which fires a machine gun weapon, the Hover vehicle, which shoots bombs and can fly if you repeatedly tap the A button, and the Spider vehicle, which has no weapon and simply destroys enemies by running into them. These vehicles run on fuel, and when the fuel runs out, the vehicle is destroyed and you'll have to continue on foot. A very important note about the Walker vehicle: this vehicle can perform a special high jump. The manual has a somewhat confusing explanation on how to perform this maneuver, but just press down and A at the same time a few times and you'll get it. Just keep this in mind if you make it to the final level of the game, as I thought I had soft locked and couldn't progress until I finally figured out how to perform this maneuver. I've been going on and on about the power-ups and the weapons and the vehicles in Low G-Man, which really just goes to show how much they managed to pack into this game. However, it's time to address the gameplay, and I have to say that in typical Kid fashion, Low G-Man has a jank factor and is possibly the jankiest Kid game I've played. If you've been paying attention to the gameplay footage, you'll notice that just about everything has a kind of stuttering movement to it. Nothing moves smoothly, and it all feels just a bit glitchy. This is a persistent issue throughout the entire game, and you'll occasionally notice moments of smooth movement, particularly when jumping, that almost seem jarring because everything else is so jerky. As I've mentioned many times in the past, I enjoy janky games, and the jankiness in Low G-Man did not deter me from making it all the way to the final boss. In fact, the jankiness was part of the charm, in my opinion. To summarize, Low G-Man is a bit of a janky mess, but it's a fun janky mess with with enjoyable and interesting combat mechanics, cool vehicles to drive, a variety of weapons to collect and power up, and some pretty challenging levels later on in the game. I want to give Low G-Man a 4, but objectively, the game is probably more like a 2, so let's just split the difference and give Low G-Man an enjoyably glitchy 3 out of 5.